Alright guys, what is up? What is everybody doing, guys? This video should have already been uploaded, but corrupted file, I don't know, audio issues, technical difficulties, the whole nine. But we're here. Alright, most importantly is that we're here, guys. And so for those of you guys that do not know who my name is, I am Xavier De Leon. A lot of you guys have probably spotted me on the Ftmo interview. And so, if this is your first video, go ahead and just tune in, press subscribe. It's going to be somewhere here, or there, or under the title name. But with that being said, let's get straight into it. Someone said in my last video that get a mouse pad so that it don't really make that much noise. And so I don't have it, but it will come this week with my new desk. But I have like a little cloth table, and so we should be good. Should be good. All right. And yeah, let's just get straight into it, guys. This right here is my metrics for phase 2 of the verification phase of the challenge. As you guys can see, we took one small L, and then from there went straight into profit. And yeah, guys, that's the metrics right there. As you guys can see, passed it in officially about 9 days. And this right here is now my actual trading journal, where you have the equities, the average profits, the average risk to reward, your expectancy, total lot size used, and you have all of that there. As you guys can see, the bottom portion, you guys are able to see the first loss that I took, and then the two trades that I actually was able to recover the loss and make the profit, and then all the 0.01 or 0.05 lots that I put just to go ahead and make meet the requirements of the 10 minimum trading days with Ftmo. And yeah, let's jump straight into the actual charts, guys. And so my first trade was actually on January 11th. Okay, so first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to jump into January 11th. As you guys can see, my chart is already marked up. So we're going to go based off of an already marked up chart. Just because, if I'm going to be honest with you guys, I've marked it up way too many times. And I love the replay tool, but I wanted to show you guys, oopsies. I wanted to show you guys pretty much my thought process when it comes to a lot of these setups. Pretty much after the fact, because you guys can all see when the trades are actually taken, me explaining it, but it's already been done. And so if I'm gonna replay something, I'm just gonna leave it right here just so we could just stay within this overall area. Okay, and so this was the first trade that I took. Actually, yeah, no, I've changed my mind. I'm gonna use a replay tool. This was the very first trade that I took on the new challenge, right? And let's go down to the 15-minute time frame. And so this was the first loss that I took, and I'm gonna explain to you guys why I even took this setup, this trade. And so this was an example of me being caught up in the lower time frames, right? Because we have this level of demand right here, level of support, and we see where price nice, beautifully just reacts to it, right? And then we get somewhat of a double top formation, M15 bearish engulfing candle, right? And I'm thinking, well, we could be seeing a nice little push down, right? We get these 5-minute retests, structure is being developed on the lower time frames pretty nicely. So once I saw that it broke past this level of demand, this level of support, my moving average is above prices on this time frame. Keep that in mind, in this time frame. Then I was just waiting for a nice little retest to continue on with the overall movement, right? And so if I go down to the M5 time frame, you guys can see how well it's been respecting this, right? And so with that being said, my trade was actually took at about 8 o'clock. So pretty impulsive entry, if I do say so myself. This was my entry, and I was going for this low. So I was going for that, per usual 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio, as I always say. And then this pretty much happened. So profit most like about 9-10 pips, right? Moving the candles, I'm back at break even, back a little bit to drawdown, back into profit about 9-8 pips. And then I see this, and I'm like, well, this is looking like a double bottom formation on a trend line right? If I take my fibs, I am in a 61.8% level. And so I'm like, well then, this is not going nicely. Well, obviously after the fact that I took this trade, this is obviously what's going through my mind. And so then within a couple of minutes, not in a couple of minutes, but within 2 hours of me holding this trade, I actually, I mean, not me, but it hit stop loss, right? And so I risked 1% per every trade. And so I was down 1% on it. So I'm down $2,000 on a 200K account, right? And so I was definitely, looking back at the setup, I was definitely stuck in the lower time frames, right? Looking back, I was stuck in the 5, 15, and 30 minutes, right? And also a little bit of not waiting for price to get to where it wanted to get to, right? In this case, it being, coming down to the trend line for it to continue pushing up, waiting for all the confluences to align, which in this case, this demand zone, the 61.8, the trend line, the double bottom, it's more than enough information for someone to come in and take the actual long opportunity that the market is giving us. But with that being said, you learn from every single trade, and so that was something that I learned in the setup was, just wait for the setups to actually align with what the higher time frames are telling you, and then everything else will be revealed to you. And so that's pretty much what I learned from that trade setup right there. Because if I were to give you an example of what the buy were to look like, is, well, wait for a wick somewhere within this level, which boom happened. This would have been somewhere here, or here would have been our entry, depending on how low of a time frame we go, right? And then take profits would have most likely been at like the expansion levels that I always preach and I talk about, right? Yeah, so that's how that setup should have gone. But it's all fine. We live and we learn, right? At the end of the day, so this loss, I don't look at it as a loss. I look at it as a learning opportunity. Shout out to Druzy Banks for that phrase, a learning opportunity, right? And so, with that being said, yeah, guys. So that was the first trade of the actual challenge, and from there we're gonna jump straight into the next day. So keep in mind, guys, these vertical lines are the entry, or not the entry points, but they are when I start actually trading. Okay, so it's set at 8 o'clock. Right, all of my vertical lines are set at 8 o'clock. Well, in this example, just so that you guys can get that clear look at what's going on. So boom, we have this. Oh, yikes! I was not supposed to show that. Nonetheless, you guys can see what's happening, but it's fine. Let's go down to small time, to lower time frames. All right. So okay, damn, that's beautiful buys, beautiful buys. Even down here, beautiful buys. But you guys can see I wasn't awake at 5:30 in the morning, right? And so instinctively, this fib is being deleted because, yeah, and I am now refibbing from the 1 hour of the previous day. Well, this is like the 15th, but if I were to go to the 1 hour, I am refibbing from here to here. And I'm noticing a couple of things, like, well, it didn't make a full 23 points. I mean, it went all the way down to the 23.6%. Usually, I wouldn't take 23.6s. I'm usually waiting for a 38.2, a 50, 61, 78, 88, maximum 100% retracement for me to still be looking for buys. Okay? So, I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, I like what I'm seeing because of just all the bullish momentum that we have been having. And so, same concept, I refib. So, I go down to the 30-minute and I take this low point and this high. Okay? And now I'm seeing price just a tad bit better in the sense of, well, came down to this level of demand. Well, not level of demand, but kind of like this break and retest area that I really like. Tons of wicks to the left, tons of wicks to the right, right? So I really like this level, 78.6%, right? Moving average is right below the prices. And so cool, but keep in mind, I'm not awake at 5:30. I'm still sleeping. And so we go down into lower time frames, and I'm just flowing with, I want to keep in mind that I'm flowing with the market, I'm flowing with the trend. And so if I know that I'm still in an overall uptrend, right? Well, we got this. So let's restructure. On the 15-minute, right? Just let's do it. Actually, let's restructure on the M30. Cool, let's go. So, boom, 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 boom. Well, yeah, we had that happen. Yeah, we had that. Price kind of came down to like this kind of area. So like it never closed. Just look at it. It never closed below like I want to say this where this horizontal arrow is at, and then gave me another bearish candle afterwards. It never did that. So we're still flowing when it comes to this uptrend. And so then we're just, I mean, obviously we had the higher high, but we're just going based off of what we're seeing. It never did that, right? We just had some horizontal movement, some, a little bit of consolidation, right? So this is on the M30 time frame. If I were to break it down on the M5 time frame, yes, we can have little breaks of structure here and there on both sides, but the bullish trend is still what is being overall maintained, right? So here we go, right? Here we go, here we go, here we go. We can say we have a 5 minute break of structure right here. Looking kind of bearish, but it broke. This structure broke, so it can come back down to this level of break and reach this level of support. That's lined up, excuse me, with our 78.6, which I really, really like. And so what happened again? We got another break of structure. So this is if I was, up at this time, this would have been the preferred entry that I would have wanted at like this 630, 650. Would have been a beautiful entry right here. And then we're off, we're gone. Right, we're gone. Right? And so lower time frame structure breaks to sometimes get certain areas on the higher time frames so that it can continue on with the bullish bullish with the bullish trend. Bullish, lol. With the bullish trend. Okay, so us seeing this break of structure happening is just counter trending. It's just coming down so that it can keep on going back up. That's why we have another break of structure right here so that it can keep on pushing forward, right? And so on the 15-minute time frame, my thought process within the setup was okay, cool. It was I want to catch a nice 8 o'clock entry was about 8:15. A nice bullish candle, wait for a wick to be created, and for me to be gone with the setup, which is what I ended up waiting for. So we have this bullish engulfing candle. Is it on a higher low? Not really, but it is on a higher low on the M5 time frame. I could feel that I am about to sneeze. Woo! Excuse me, guys. Bless me. Nah, let me stop. But my entry was about here, and I had a about 7 pip stop loss. 7 8 pip stop loss somewhere along there, right? On the M5 time frame, I just wanted it below this candle because to me it just made sense. Well, if price were to close below this candle, well then this uptrending, I mean this bullish bias that I have in mind will pretty much be voided, and price is gonna keep on dropping. That's just my thought process behind it. If resistance were to be found in this area, then I'm pretty much GG's. Like good to go. But yeah, no, we pretty much we're still valid with that. And for me, what gave me the overall confirmation of us continuing that bullish motion was this 15-minute bullish engulfing candle, right? And so I waited for the wicks to be created and for it to surpass this bullish close. And then from that point, like I said, guys, I'm always going for like a 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio. So I knew that if I was only risking up until like the break of this structure on the M5 time frame, then I didn't have to go for 40, 50, 60 pips. I'm going for that 1 to 3, which was about 26. My take profit was like a 707. 707. Boom. So that was my trade. I ended up going for about 27 pips, and this was a setup that actually gave me the $6,500 profit. Okay, and so that was my thought process behind this trade. Is this the setup that I'm always looking for? No, it's not. Right, I'm always working on adapting with what the market is giving me. Yes, I have my ideal, excuse me, yes, I have my ideal high probability setup that I'm always looking for, that I'm always aiming to catch. But sometimes I have to take what the market is giving me, and so this was just an example of that. this was an example. There goes my chapstick. But this was just an example of that, right? And so, yeah, guys, clean setup in my opinion, right? Was a little bit of a dicey setup, yeah. But at the end of the day, I knew what the market was doing, right? Let's go back to the higher time frames. I knew what it was doing, right? It was a higher low to keep on going with the bullish motion, the bullish push that we're in, right? Could I have kept and stayed in this trade 100%, and I could have more than likely passed this trade within this one trade alone. Wow, I could feel the sneeze coming back again. Just keep in mind, guys, I'm going to keep all of this in the video. All right. Okay, cool. All right, let's do it. But yeah, so that's that. But here we are once again, and you know, we're going with this trade. I'm gonna actually take off this Fibonacci up down below. I'm gonna take this one off here. You guys are gonna see why. And I already know that I'm looking trade at 7 o'clock. I stopped the candle. 4, 5, 6, 7. Cool. So at first, guys, being that I like basing direction off of the higher time frames, maybe my technicals on the 1 hour and stuff like that, I fib it out from here. It just didn't give me a steep enough retracement. Came up here, you know, 23s being made, 23.6s are being made. So I mean, I just adjusted it once again, and I brought it to this level right here, and I liked it more. I just did. So 61.8% trend line for the buys, and I have to show you guys this really quick, which is super important. Right, just overall higher time frame trend line that's overwatching us, right? That's just there. Okay, and so keeping that in mind, I know that maybe, guys, maybe, right? I have to say maybe because that's not always going to be the scenario. But maybe it could respect this trend line and keep on dropping, or not keep on dropping, but it will start its descent, or it will disrespect that trend line and it will keep pushing up, right? Because at the end of the day, nobody says that your trend line needs to be respected. You know, I'm just drawing the line in my chart. So what, right? At the end of the day, that's why I don't take trades just based off of, oh my god, it's just my trend line. Oh my god, I hit my resistance. No, it could go straight through it for all purposes, right? At the end of the day, and so with that being said, um, I was already like keeping that in mind, right? And so 15-minute time frame once again. I took my setup at about 8:15 again. It just seemed to be the trend. I'm not saying that's the time that I always take my trade, but in this period, this is where I was taking most of my trades. And so we out 8 o'clock. Nice little bullish candle. Let's go to the M5 time frame. It's not really giving me anything at all. And so I'm just waiting, right? This is typically a you know, a lower high that might get created or not. Keep in mind, trend line is right there, and so we're just here. Boom. Right. If we want to go to the 15-minute time frame, we can see that as well. Back down to the 5-minute time frame, right? We got that, and then we get the bullish engulfing candle. Was it that one? It was that one. Not the cleanest, but it was enough for me to want to enter into this trade. So I entered it somewhere along here. If memory serves, I actually have the entry price right here, 197. So, oh, look at that. Entry price at 197. That's awesome. Okay. I had about a 12 pip stop loss, so I either had it below this low. No. I just had it below this low. I believe it was like a 12 pip stop loss. And me being who I am, I'm always going for the expansion level. So I'm always shooting up for price going up higher. And so I had it somewhere like around here. Cool. Keep in mind, I knew that a 1 to 3 risk to reward already gave me $6,000 in profit. Given my account balance at the time, I didn't need the full $6,000 for me to actually pass the challenge. Okay, so entry was somewhere right here. Cool. And then we're out. We're flying, right? And so let's just see what market ends up doing. Instantly into profit, right? Nice. We always love to see that. Okay, but notice where price is going to now. Like this is where I'm gonna go to the M15 time frame, because we start to get wicks, and I start to kind of like, well, this could happen, right? This could happen, but then we keep on shooting up higher, right? And so it was around this area where I had the overall 1 to 3 risk to reward, somewhere here. It was it was something like that. My lot size was like about a 28. Was about a 28 lot size, a 28 lot, excuse me. It was about a 28 lot. So it was somewhere here. By this point, being this deep into profit, my stop loss was actually cut into half or break even, right? Just being so deep into profit, and also given that this is a challenge and stuff. And I believe I got out somewhere here, because then we ended up getting this pushed down. Yeah, this is what ended up happening. I believe it came back up to say hello again. I could be wrong. Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Yep. So nonetheless, that was my actual trade, and so that ended up happening. Closed out with about 57 5700, about $5,700 in profit. Closed out with, and that was my trade, and that was also my the challenge, because as soon as I seen the equity of the account go over $210,000, well, for me that was more than enough reasons for me to close out my trade, and so I did. Excuse me, I passed the challenge with that trade, and then yeah, excuse me, I noticed how price was not making a double top on the M15, double top on the 30. Look at that 1 hour structure being completely obliterated. Literally broke my trend line, came back up to retest it beautifully, and then we get the now, the sense of structure. Oh look, it even came over here, which is where the initial thing happened. And yeah, guys, look, we had a double top on the H4 time frame with a huge engulfing candle. And yeah, that's that with GBP USD. And then the whole bias that I had for the rest of the month has completely shifted from me looking for buys to now looking for sells. And then that actually led to some of my my personal account trades, and also when I did receive the Ftmo account, me going in for sales a lot as well when it came to that, guys. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much the overall 3 trades that I took. The main 3 trades that I took. Keep in mind, for about 6 more days. 6 more days, I was just taking low lot size trades, even on weekends, taking crypto lot size trades, just so that I could meet the 10-day minimum trading, the 10 minimum trading days required, right? And that was pretty much that, guys. I really, really, really do hope that a lot of you guys learned from this video. I hope that you guys have tons of questions from this video. At the end of the day, I really enjoy making videos like this, where people are able to come in, learn, ask questions in the comment section below, right? Because I respond. For those of you guys that have commented on my videos before, I respond to them for the most part. And I love communicating with people, guys. So at the end of the day, my Instagram is right there at IamXavier.dl. My YouTube page, go ahead and give it a subscribe. Subscribe to it. Subscribe to my YouTube page if you guys haven't already. If you guys are brand new, I hope that you guys enjoy this video. Come along in the journey, because I'm actually having fun making videos like this, and I will be doing more in the long run every single week. Sundays for now. As you guys see on my YouTube banner. And yeah, guys, if you guys have any suggestions, any opinions on how to make my video better, I hope that the mouse was fine. But not only making the video better, but also suggestions on what next week video should be, go ahead and drop it in the comment section below. Give my page a subscribe. And yeah, guys, have a phenomenal rest of your night, day, evening, whatever you guys are, from wherever you guys are at, wherever in the world. Have a beautiful day. I'm going to catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.